Hello everybody, my name is Gary. I'm going to be giving you a brief guide on serving on selection panels for Afghan Fulbright scholars. We know you're all busy, so the first thing I want to do is give you our hearty thanks. We really appreciate the time that you're taking out to help us do this. I think you're going to find it both rewarding and challenging, and you're going to find it an interesting insight into basically a world of Afghans that you probably have known nothing about. A brief background on the Fulbright. Fulbright is one of the most prestigious award programs worldwide. It's in more than 155 countries. It provides 8,000 grants annually to undertake graduate study, advanced research, lecturing, and classroom teaching. Fulbright Afghanistan was started in 2004 after a 20-year gap, and it has right now over 300 Fulbright alumni who have returned from graduate, undergraduate, or professional programs. This year's panels are going to be seeking to send 75 students for master's degrees to the U.S., 3 candidates for PhDs, and we expect to receive in excess of 2,000 applicants. And that's why your actual participation is vital to us. Let me give you a little background on where you are and how you fit into the whole process. The first thing that happens is on May 1st, we have received, that's the deadline for all of our receipt of applications. These will then go through a technical panel, which will weed out the ones that aren't qualified to actually participate and compete in the program. After that, we are going to break these candidates down into a group of panels for your review. At this point, we expect you to run through about 40 or 50 applications. I'm going to give you a brief idea of how this is done on SharePoint, how you evaluate, and how you score each of these candidates. Your help is critical. We need subject matter experts in all fields, and we're really seeking participation across all agencies. So again, my thanks to you for helping. What you will be doing is identifying the best and brightest candidates, reading 40 to 50 applications, and then rank ordering these based on criteria set forth in these evaluation sheets. All applications are going to be placed in Mission's SharePoint system. Several volunteers then can read the same application simultaneously. We expect to have at least 4 sets of American eyes on every application. Scoring sheets and comments are to be made in SharePoint, and we need to use the applicant number as an identifier because the number of names that are similar in Afghanistan is otherwise going to be confusing. There's a scoring system, rank ordering candidates from 1 low to 10 high in 8 categories. These categories are clear study objectives, future plans, academic background, well-rounded, English skills, the quality of the essays, a very important part of this. There will also be in these packages a lot of letters of recommendations, a lot of citations, and transcripts. These are not necessary to be in each application, so if an application doesn't have this, you shouldn't necessarily score it against that person. Evaluation criteria. There are about 10 criteria that we look at for evaluating candidates, and I'm going to go through each one individually. Number 1, English language skills. This is one of the most important criteria. Try to determine from the essays if English is at university level. Candidates are required to score at least a 550 on a TOEFL exam that they will take at a later time. But the basic thing is candidates cannot be successful in the U.S. university without language skills, and we don't want to set anyone up to fail. Secondly, the proposed field of study. Are the applicant's study objectives clearly articulated? Does the field of study make sense in context of the applicant's background? If not, has the applicant adequately explained why he's choosing a new field? If your undergraduate field of study was agriculture and suddenly you're trying to get a law degree or an economics degree, we need to know why. Is the applicant living in Afghanistan? The technical panel should weed out all applicants who aren't eligible because of not being resident in Afghanistan or being Afghan citizens. But if you happen to run across one, we'd like you to flag that. The next criterion is previous scholarships. Some preference is given to those who have not already studied abroad, and especially to those who haven't studied in the U.S. Many candidates, however, attended university in Pakistan, Iran, India as refugees. We don't want you to count this against the applicants. You're going to find a lot of applications where people have studied abroad. We want you to keep in mind diversity. The Fulbright program strives for diversity in all aspects, regional, ethnic, gender, and field of study. So, all other factors being equal, special consideration should be given to traditionally disenfranchised and marginalized groups in order that we can have a slate of candidates that is truly representative of Afghanistan's overall population. Each candidate must have a bachelor's degree equivalent. You're going to find that many candidates are applying while they're still doing their final year of university. As long as they will have their bachelor's degree by August of 2013, they are eligible. But you're going to find that some of the strongest candidates are those who already have their undergraduate degree and have some professional experience under their belt. Now, there are some applicants who have only a 3-year bachelor's degree, especially from universities in India. And what you're going to do is require that an additional year of university-level study be shown in that application. One of the most difficult parts of scoring is looking at the essays. You're going to find that you can get through the applications fairly quickly when you go through the background, etc. But when it comes to the essays, then there are 2 essays. One is a personal statement and one is a statement of your study objectives. You're going to find that these are really what's going to sway your opinion about how good a candidate is. So one thing you want to look for, are these essays authentic? We've had a lot of problem with plagiarism before. About 14% of last year's applications were thought to be copied. So if you go through an application that doesn't ring quite true to you, there's a box on the score sheet where you can check suspected plagiarism. We don't want you to go through the internet and try to chase down any possible plagiarism. We're going to have a committee that's going to go through a plagiarism review. Just keep that in mind, because it's pretty easy to find, to tell the difference between authentic essays and essays that have been plagiarized from another place. In these essays, we're looking for creativity and originality. How well have the candidates expressed thought? Are their study objectives clearly identified, and do they make sense? Watch out for derivative, unauthentic, and banal writing, and these should not score high. I'm going to tell you that generally, you're going to find that strong essays are immediately recognizable and rise right to the top. The other thing we're looking for among our Fulbright scholars is motivation and commitment. No matter what field of study, strong motivation and commitment to a chosen career path are important considerations in the evaluation process. Strong leadership qualities often correlate to success, both in U.S. academia and upon return to Afghanistan. We're looking for well-rounded individuals, so also look for volunteer community service experience, activities in the university, those kinds of things which a normal university in the U.S. would be seeking. Finally, what's the likely impact that this person will have upon the return? How important is the candidate's chosen field of study to Afghanistan's future? Have the candidates expressed their plans and ambitions upon completion of their studies? Do they make sense? And are they achievable in light of their field of endeavor? And we have a final problem which we have to bring to your attention, and that is the candidate going to come back to Afghanistan? I know it's difficult to ascertain from a candidate's application, but try to decide if the candidate is committed to returning to Afghanistan. You're going to find in some essays it's very easy to determine and to see that commitment to come back to Afghanistan. But abscondence of Afghans on grants and exchanges in the U.S. has escalated lately, so we need to be aware of this. You don't need to worry once again, because closer scrutiny will take place during the oral interviews. But your comments are always helpful. And there is a space on the scoring sheet for comments. We want brief comments, bulleted comments on all aspects. Anything that you want to flag for our attention. Anything where you think this is a strong candidate, but I just am not sure about X, Y, or Z. Put that in your comments. We're operating on a really tight timeline, and that's why your help is so important to us. We're going to be trying to get emails to all of you with all of the information you need and access to the SharePoint applications and score sheets by May 4th. These score sheets are due back to us by May 8th. If you can finish sooner, even better. But we really need you to devote a lot of time to this. We cannot delay past May 8th. Plus, please, we're still seeking more panel members. Have your friends and colleagues help out if they can. Solicit their help on our behalf. Thank you very much for listening. I think you're going to find everything is much clearer once you get your email package. And again, your help is invaluable to us. Signing off, this is Gary.